What is up, though, Lions fans? As always, it is time. The Motor City Cats are back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. If you smell. No, I'm just playing. What is up, though? What is up, though? What is up, though? You already know what it is. The Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got some things to talk about today. Hold on, messing with my camera, bro. Messing with my camera right quick. Hold on. We got some things to talk about today. Now, y'all might have seen the thumbnail. You probably did. And you probably realized that I made a joke. I made it funny. I made a ha-ha. I made a joke. I said CB1, and I had a picture of Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, in case y'all don't know this, because you probably weren't keeping up with the Pro Bowl, as I was not, I just follow NFL on Twitter, and, you know, they had a tweet out there. It was talking about Jahmyr Gibbs and his pick 6. So I said, hey, that's funny. But what I did want to talk about was how this Detroit Lions team is going to fix this defense. Now, we probably didn't need too much. Really, if we be realistic about it, we probably saw that the Detroit Lions defense didn't suck. The Detroit Lions defense wasn't lacking a bunch of players. Even though we didn't have a great pass rush, we had Aidan Hutchinson, we had DJ Reader, we had Aleem McNeil, we had Marcus Davenport. Our line was crazy until everybody get injured. So the logical answer to the question, how will the Detroit Lions fix the defense, is by saying everybody just needs to get healthy. We bring back Carlton Davis. We bring back, whoever. I don't know if we talked about Marcus Davenport, and we not bringing him back. If we bring him back for the vet minimum, I don't know. It is what it is. But then this man was sitting on his couch, or maybe he was at the Super Bowl. I don't know where he said this from. But there was a man that said some things. And it sent all of Detroit into a tizzy. What did this man say? I'm going to read his statement. And if you don't know by now, you'll know in a minute. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast, oh hell no, I had to say those words, okay? It made me sick. And the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. Y'all suck, I'm out. That's not what he said, but that's pretty much what the statement is saying. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Signed Deshaun Watson. No, I'm just playing. It wasn't Deshaun. Okay? It wasn't Deshaun Watson or Justin Tucker. I didn't say Tucker. I said Tugger. Shout out heavyweights. It was Myles Garrett. If you didn't know, now you know. Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns has requested a trade. Did you hear me clearly? Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns has requested a trade. This isn't the Max Crosby situation. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, Max Crosby, we could have traded. We didn't trade for Max Crosby. How are we going to get Myles Garrett? Listen, Max Crosby said he wasn't available. The Las Vegas Raiders said that Max Crosby was not available. So you cannot trade for what is not available. But Myles Garrett just told you he was available. Andrew Berry, who is the general manager, said that they've known about this, his desire to be traded for quite some time. Now, of course, the Cleveland Browns have come out and said, well, we ain't going to trade him. I mean, he gave you 8 great years. He gave you, and you didn't give him anything. He gave you 8 great years, and you gave him nothing. Now you have Deshaun Watson, who has handcuffed your franchise. Absolutely handcuffed it because you gave him the worst contract in the history of the NFL, probably in the history of sports. I think previously the worst contract in the NFL was Albert Hainsworth. Okay, Deshaun Watson is worse, and by all accounts, a worse human being. And Albert Hainsworth was a pretty bad guy. Okay, if you don't know Albert Hainsworth, just go back, look at some not now, but go back on the Google machine and search up Albert Hainsworth. So before I get to everybody, let me welcome some people in chat. K.A. Press, what up, though? Mr. Morale 313, what up, though? Taylor May, what up, though? J Rod, what up, though? All right. What was I eating? I was eating a popsicle. That's why my tongue is orange. All right. Okay, so now, here's the thing. The Detroit Lions fixed their defense by trading for Myles Garrett. And here's why I believe that we can get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett said that his goal is to, and I quote, let me read it. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. All right. So let me get back to my camera. Here's some teams that are out, and we'll start division by division. In the NFC North, only the Chicago Bears are out because the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, it pains me to say this, were all representing the NFC North in the playoffs. Now, whatever you think of Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen and his staff over there and what he's going to be able to do, I don't know. I really don't. So as of right now, the Chicago Bears are out. Okay? So we started with the NFC North. Let's go to the NFC East. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Commanders. Okay? So I've named 5 teams right now. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants are out. It's not available. Okay? So I got 5 teams. Started with the NFC North, went to the NFC East, got 5 teams. Now, let's go to the NFC West. Historically, we got the Rams, and we got the Seahawks, and we got the 49ers. Historically, the 49ers had a down year. I don't know how much Myles Garrett believes in Brock Purdy, whatever. Okay? How many teams is that? We got 8 teams now? All right. Let's go to the NFC South. Nobody. All right, let's move on. I mean, maybe the Bucks. I guess. No. All right, nobody in the NFC South. So we got 8 teams in the NFC. All right. What up, though, Jay Cruisin? What up, though, Mr. Morale? All right. Now, J Rod's already getting to his proposals. We're gonna get to the proposals, but let me tell y'all who we're competing against. All right, let's go over to the AFC. Nobody. Right? Because if we go to the AFC North, you for damn sure are not trading within your own division. Okay? The AFC West, they got, Patrick Mahomes over there and everything. So you got the Bills. Look, I don't think you're trading in the AFC. Because the reason being is the way that you get to the playoffs is you got to, you have to win your division. That's the easiest way to get to the playoffs, right? So now when the Cleveland Browns take these draft picks that they're going to get in exchange for trading Myles Garrett, they're going to be going through the AFC. They don't want to keep him in the AFC, and let's say that they get good in 2-3 years. Let's say they pull a Lions, okay? Now you talking about getting to the AFC Championship, and guess who you got to face on the other side of that? Guess who stops you, Cleveland Browns, from getting to the Super Bowl? Myles Garrett, right? Let's say Myles Garrett does get traded to the Chiefs, which, let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. People be doing deals with the Chiefs for some reason. Don't know why. But let's say he winds up on a team like that, and then you go into the AFC Championship game. As far-fetched as this is, I'm not saying that this is an actual scenario that is actually going to happen, that the Cleveland Browns would actually ever stop Cleveland Browning until they sell the team and get from under Jimmy Haslam. Okay? But until that happens, I don't think that's going anything. And then they got Deshaun Watson. I mean, we could talk about Deshaun Watson with his $73 million cap hit this season coming and his $73 million cap hit next season coming. And then, all gloves are off, all bets are off. Okay, but they can't move on from Deshaun Watson anytime soon. So I don't think he's going to anybody within the AFC. Okay, now let's go back to the NFC. Because of their cap situation, the Cleveland Browns, okay, and here's the thing. The Cleveland Browns will be dealing with $36 million in dead cap if they trade Myles Garrett. Coupled with $73 million of cap hit, that's almost $110 million worth of salary tied up in two players. You've got 53 or more than that on the roster, okay? You got your practice squad, all that. So how are you taking back these people? Now, J-Rod, I want to ask you a question. Why is Hooker getting traded? That's the question that I have for you. Tell me the person who is a quarterback who has been in the situation with Hendon Hooker where no one knows who he is. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Come on now. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Where nobody knows who he is and nobody knows what he can do because he's never played before. And they go, well, for a marquee player, we got to have Hendon Hooker. I don't think so. I think with the draft picks that they get, you got to get the quarterback right. Do they believe that that's Hendon Hooker? I would say there's no reason to believe as such. I think we have, what do we have? We're in the top 5 of cap space for next season. Three teams we owe an ass whooping to: the Buffalo Bills, Buccaneers, Redskins. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking that the Browns are going to be doing. They're going to be looking for cap relief, and they are going to be looking for draft picks. This is not the NBA where you can get an expiring salary and you can trade that, and then you just, that person their contract expires and then you get the cap relief from that. That's not how it works in the NFL. So you're going to look for draft picks, right? Or possibly, you're going to look for people who are on rookie contracts. But the rookie contracts can't come due while Deshaun Watson is still on the roster. Okay, but the problem with that, J-Rod, is Hendon Hooker, he was a third-round pick. So he has 2 years left on his contract. Okay, he has 2 years left on his contract. Maybe you get him, and then you go ahead and you say, okay, well, after 2 years, we'll get rid of Deshaun, and then we'll take the $27 million cap hit. It's possible. Okay, it's possible 100%. Or what you could do is you could take all these draft picks that you're going to get, because it's probably gonna be 2 firsts and a third, 2 firsts and a second, whatever the case may be. Okay, you're gonna get picks that are low. You're not gonna get high picks. Because as I told you, there's probably 8 teams, okay? And then if we look at the 8 teams, the teams that are built to win now, Seattle is not on that list, okay? Seattle's not necessarily on that list. They have a new coach. They didn't make the playoffs this year. The QB situation is up in the air, whatever. Does Myles Garrett think, hey, if Seattle Seahawks add me, we go to the Super Bowl? No. So if you're looking at teams, like I started off with the NFC North, the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions, oh, by the way, are, in some sports books, the number one. Again, I don't do gambling, but they're the favorite to land Myles Garrett. The reason that they're the favorite to land Myles Garrett is, look at their team. All the Lions really need is a pass rusher on the other side of Hutch. That's it. That's all. If we're being honest, we need someone on the other side of Hutch, and this team is set. Obviously, we need our defense to stay healthy. But if you could bring back the exact same defense, right? And we're playing the if game, right? If was a fifth, we would all be drunk. I'm not encouraging anyone to drink. But tell me, the person in this chat that believes that if you have Myles Garrett on the team this season, and we don't have the injuries that we had this season, that we are not sitting up here talking about playing the Super Bowl on Sunday. Who in the chat believes that? Right? So if you look at all the teams, if you look at the Vikings, what is their quarterback situation? Don't know. Don't know if Sam Darnold is coming back. And with the schedule that they played a last place schedule. Are they really as good as you thought they were? And then if Sam Darnold gets into a pressure situation and the same thing happens that happened to him in the playoffs, okay? Don't know about that. Green Bay Packers, are you really sure? Because the only team they beat in their division this year was the Chicago Bears, and they only beat them one time. They're 1-5 in the division this season. As a player, Myles Garrett, do you believe in Jordan Love? Do you believe in Jordan Love? Do you believe in Matt LaFleur to be able to get you over the top? Probably not. So in the NFC North, that leaves the Detroit Lions. Now, why do I ask about what the player believes? Because the player in Myles Garrett who asked for the trade is going to have some say. If they decide that they're going to trade him, which I believe they ultimately will, because it becomes it's a game of chicken that you don't want to play because you're not in a situation to win, right? You're not getting a new coach and a new front office, and you're just telling the player, like Max Crosby, hey, just trust us. We want you to give this a chance. No, there's no changes being made in Cleveland unless we move off of Myles Garrett, because we can't afford to do anything else. We're not moving off of Deshaun Watson for at least 2 years. Myles Garrett said he spent 8 years in Cleveland. Do you think he wants to spend 2 more years, which would be 10, in Cleveland? He also has 2 years left on his contract. If he's asking you for a trade, go ahead, get into rebuild mode now. Get the picks, get something for him before he walks out of the door. Because I can guarantee you, all you're going to do is throw money at the problem. Because he's not going to sign an extension with you in 2 years. So then you're going to have to franchise him. You're just going to keep franchising. You're going to play the franchise game. And you're going to pay him so much money instead of just trading him. You'll be paying him so much money that you, again, will be handcuffing yourself because you can't do anything else with the Deshaun Watson contract on the books. So I do believe that the Cleveland Browns will trade him, and I do believe he has say in where he's going to go. Right? So this is why I said, I would submit that the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings are out. Now you got the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles got a lot of money tied up in a lot of people. Are they going to be able to shoulder the contract of Myles Garrett? Now, interestingly enough, though, Myles Garrett's contract is surprisingly cheap. He's got a $19 million cap hit this year, which the guy, like, the reigning defensive player of the year. Okay, $19 million only. And then next year it's $20 million. I don't see how that's not doable. And especially if you're going to re-sign Hutch, if you're going to re-sign Kirby, if you're going to re-sign maybe J-Mo, maybe not, but I know you're going to pick up his 5th-year option, most likely. If you re-sign these players, more cap space gets opened up because Hutch is in his, 3rd year now? So he's going into his 4th year. You got 2 more years with him. You got his 4th year and his 5th-year option. And then if you extend him now, okay, it's going to free up cap space, and his money's not going to kick in for 3 years. Okay, Mega Hustle 313 says Detroit is definitely on Myles' list with Za'Darius being here. And 100%. Za'Darius is already preaching the gospel of Detroit to Myles Garrett. Hey Myles, what's up though, Myles? Myles, what's up though? Listen, we gonna run it back in a city where we can actually win something. Come on through. You know, I'm just saying. Now, obviously, the Eagles are going to move some people around. Darius Slay's not coming back. Josh Sweat not coming back. Myles Garrett and Jalen Carter would not be fair. So, I would say the Eagles are probably your biggest competition in the NFC. I would say the Eagles are the biggest competition to land Myles Garrett. It's between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let me see some of these. I don't understand the Hendon Hooker thing though. The only thing that I can understand about Hendon Hooker is because it's within league circles. Maybe because it's within league circles, they know more about him than we do. But I don't see, like, my thing is not saying he's bad or this or I don't know that he's a major piece in, hey, give us Hendon Hooker and we'll give you Myles Garrett. I know there's picks, but I don't know. Maybe they just want to see. You know what I'm saying? But I would think that you go ahead and you grab, again, Hendon Hooker is what, 26, 27? You grab a Cam Ward or you grab a Shedeur Sanders or somebody like that who's 21, 22. Then you can, kind of shape them and mold them, and you have them for longer, right? Because you're looking for sustained success. The Cleveland Browns can't keep rebuilding, right? So they're going to have to get the quarterback right. And with the Cleveland Browns history, let's say you hit on Cam Ward, you hit on Shedeur Sanders, then you don't have to worry about the quarterback for 10, 12, 15 years possibly. If you get a Hendon Hooker, you might have him for 5 years, 6, 7 max. So I think you want the 4, 5, 6 extra years. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't really see it on Hendon Hooker. Jay Cruzen says, I don't think Garrett lands here. Brad is a cheapskate, but if you won a Super Bowl, this is as best as it gets at the moment if it happens. Brad Holmes called about Myles Garrett last season, or this season. Brad Holmes called about Myles Garrett. Obviously, they weren't trading. That's how he got Zadarius Smith. He didn't just call for Zadarius Smith off top. You know who we need to get? We need to get Zadarius Smith in here. That wasn't how it went. The Browns already have the number 2 overall. So, yeah, again, the Browns already have – that's a good point. The Browns already have the number 2 overall. So why are you going to trade for Hendon Hooker? They're already going to grab Shedeur or Cam. Supposedly, the Browns wanted Hendon Hooker at the trade deadline for Garrett, Smith, and some picks. Really? They offer. Come on now. I'm over here random. I didn't see that. Mr. Morale, you got to give me some sources on that. Because you're telling me that we could have had Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith for Hendon Hooker and some picks? All right. Pascal, Hooker, and picks. How does that end up Hooker for Garrett? That's not what I said. I didn't say Hooker for Garrett. I said I don't know that Hooker would be a piece that kind of puts it over the top. This is what I'm saying. No such thing as hard schedule for top 3 team guys. Garrett believes in Mason Rudolph. Yeah, okay. As the new GM of the Cleveland Browns, I would be willing to trade Garrett for 3 brothels fully staffed with Filipino women, this year's first hooker and next year's second. I would say a big no on the Filipino women. Now, unless you're talking about them coming in as linebackers, I didn't say it. I just insinuated it. Agents going to want to get paid. You can't pay everyone. Robert Stevens, remember the trade that put Green Bay and Brett Favre over the hump? Similar situation. What up, those salty pork chops? I don't think Hendon Hooker has the potential to be a Brett Favre, though. Brett Favre was an unknown, and then he became a legend. 4 or 5 teams that want Hooker or at least very interested. So if they already called and asked about Hooker, then I'm wrong, and you can have Hooker. Okay? What up, though, Jody Carruthers? To get Garrett, are we okay with giving up Kirby? Well, that's the question. If you give up Kirby, who do you replace him with? That's the question. You're gonna have to draft a guy, probably another third rounder, because giving up Garrett, you're gonna give up 2 firsts, maybe a third or 2 firsts in the second to get Myles Garrett. Um, if they're asking for Kirby in the trade, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm comfortable giving Kirby up because here's the thing. Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to start weakening our team to get someone else. Because before Kirby got here, before Brian Branch got here, before we revamped this secondary was kind of bleak. Okay? And for us to have it where it is right now, I don't want to start giving up players. Why would that be a talk, bro? Hooker and Levitt? What? Why would anybody take Levis? That's not a good move. That's what I'm saying. Kirby would be lethal with Garrett. I'll keep Kirby. This is the thing. Like, once you start dipping into the players that are already cornerstones on your team to get another player, then you weaken. We have what we want to do with our defense with Myles Garrett is make it the strongest defense in the league. We don't want to start weakening it by giving away players like Kirby Joseph or Brian Branch. The only person, and then again, with the salary cap considerations, again, you give Hutch his extension, you move some money around, you take JG and you restructure his contract. And I keep going back to the Matthew Stafford thing. Remember the year that we traded Matthew Stafford? The Los Angeles Rams restructured his contract, and they took almost the entirety, 99.9% of Matthew Stafford's cap hit. I think his cap hit was something like $60 million that year. They converted all of that into a signing bonus. The cap hit for that year was $1 million. It was $1 million. So he was making $60 million, but he counted for $1 million against the cap. I don't even think that you have to not re-sign Carlton Davis. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to, a lot of people are like, oh, let's trade Jamo. Okay, that's fine. Now we're minus the deep threat on our offense. And if anybody thinks that you can just grab the deep threat, and Jamo has become so much more than just a deep threat, right? He's a pillar of our offense. So now you take one of the offensive pillars and you remove him. Now your offense is weaker. And I guess you're going, well, we can lean on our defense. But if you can, you don't want to get rid of anybody. But like I said, you have to look at the cap situation in Cleveland. It's terrible. It's an awful, awful situation. Yeah, their trade power. And what up though, Tactical Sport? How about if he's got to re-sign, if his contract is up, and I think if he's gone anyway. If you're asking me if I would give up, yes, I don't even know if he resigns here. Cleveland definitely has less leverage. However, you know, they're doing the cat and mouse, the song and dance game right now where they're like, oh, we're not going to trade him. Yes, you are. You're going to trade him. Um, you got fiends in the chat. I think that's a fantastic move. Levis learning. No. Levis is not a good quarterback. I don't care who he learns from. No. That is not a fantastic move at all. Levis is terrible. Uh, that's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to finagle right now. Tactical sport. Sean Richardson says Hooker and some white buffs for Myles Garrett. I'm down. I'm down. High mileage merit Garrett no bueno. Come on now. I know you're trolling. Jamo's an absolute no trade. I agree with Spinney and Neil. You gotta lock him up now. Blue Lightning. Well, when we get a player named Blue Lightning, J-Rod, when we get a player named Blue Lightning, then we'll see if he stays. So we're way off of what? We talking about Levis? Nah, bro. Levis is no. All right. So here's the thing. Again, I'll say this again. Deshaun Watson cost $73 million against the cap this year. Deshaun Watson cost $73 million against the cap next year. If they were going to move on from Deshaun Watson this year, they would have a $173 million cap hit. Dead cap. Okay? The next year, I believe it's $100 million is the dead cap. They cannot move on from Deshaun Watson this year or next year. I think in 2027 they can move on from Deshaun Watson, and I think his cap hit is $27 million. Okay? So what I'm thinking, they've already got the second pick. You draft a Cam Ward, you draft a Shedeur Sanders, whichever one, or, it's Cleveland, so they'll probably draft somebody like Dylan Gabriel or something. I don't know. But the Browns don't want or need players. They need picks and cap relief. Give them the pick. Yeah, the picks. F them picks. F all the picks. All of them. They took Hooker and a Garrett replacement in the draft. Who's the Garrett replacement? If you're drafting that high, you're probably gonna draft Mason Graham, who's a defensive tackle, so he's not a defensive end. I don't know. I guess you can get close. Still pissed when I seen Sonic and Knuckles not utilized. Am I the only one? I can't get it. I'm not going to say nothing about that. I can't. I'm not allowed to talk about that anymore, apparently. I can't find the article I seen that suggested we give up 2 first-round picks and Hendon Hooker for Garrett and Smith. Bro. I don't know. But bring me that article cuz that just sounds incredible. That sounds incredible. That they could have had Myles Garrett this season just for Hendon Hooker and 2 first-round picks. Nah. I know what you're saying, Jay Cruising, but I can't look. So I'll do it this way. Jahmyr Gibbs was averaging 10 yards a carry. We were about to go up 14-3. They went down and scored. It was 10-7. We were trailing. Jahmyr Gibbs was utilized on the very next drive to drive the ball down the field and go up 14-10. Then Washington scores again. Then we come out and promptly throw a pick 6. We're now trailing. Then it's before the half, so we're throwing the football because we're trying to score, and then we turn it over again. And then they got the ball back at halftime. So because of the turnovers, the run game was rendered ineffective. I just like you, because Dan Campbell said the same thing. That's what I saw. Did anyone watch the Senior Bowl? No. I need to watch the Senior Bowl. It's me against WWF and fake folks. Deep edge in the draft this year. If Cleveland gets stupid, we could trade for Henderson from Cincinnati. Doesn't Henderson have just one more year? I would love to have Henderson, but I don't want to have to trade for him and then extend him immediately, because then you get into stuff. Myles Garrett, on the other hand, I think with his 2 remaining years, none of the money is guaranteed. Might have been more, yeah. I think if that was the pick, I think if that was the trade, then we would have made the trade. I get what you say, tactical sport, but that wasn't like my pushback is people are asking like we just didn't run the football because we wanted to feature like there people that are acting like it's what was it, Jared Goff, who was it, Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl, right? That wasn't the reason why we stopped running the football. That's all I'm saying. That's my pushback. You know, whether that was the right call or not, you know, yes, no, maybe, you know, that's all speculative. But I'm looking at the results of the situation. People are mad because we went away from the run game, and it was like it was voluntary. I don't think it was voluntary. It came out of necessity. And I also I understand he was averaging 10 yards a carry, but you can't run the ball every play, you know, unless he's literally like not ever getting touched until he gains 10 yards. And then if they won't adjust, then you just keep running the ball, because you're going to have 10 carries. You start from the 1 yard line, you're going to have 10 carries. It's going to be a touchdown. So, you know, every 10 carries, you're getting up 100 yards. That's not realistic. Trayvon Walker definitely would be cheaper than Garrett, but is he available? If he's available and Garrett is available, who do you go for? That's my question. If Trayvon Walker is available and Myles Garrett is available, you're trading for Myles Garrett, because you know what Myles Garrett is. You don't know what Trayvon Walker is. Robert Stevens says Jags ain't trading Walker. I don't think they are. That's why I said, is he available? Because it's just the whole thing with the Max Crosby and people have to be available first before we can trade for him. They're not available, we can't trade for them. Like, what is this? Walker's third season? Just like Hutch, right? So it's the third season. And from what I understand, he's been getting better. Now, I did watch that Vikings game where the last couple minutes of the Vikings game, the last 5 minutes maybe, and he did make the dumbass boneheaded error by aggressively punching out the football after the whistle when they had made the stop that they needed. So I don't, you know. Robert Stevens says owners are funny like that. Yeah, I don't think he's available. I don't think that they're going to trade for him. I mean, that they're going to trade away. Because you're not. Trayvon Walker was the number 1 overall pick. If you trade him, you're not getting back 2 firsts or whatever. I don't even know if you're getting the first back for it. You might get like a second or a third back for Trayvon Walker because he's been in the league for 3 years and he doesn't have you can't demand anything from him because he hasn't been Hutch. You know what I'm saying? If Trayvon Walker had been Hutch, well, first of all, no one would be thinking that he was even remotely available. Like, Hutch's name is not ever getting floated anywhere unless you're a dumbass Bears fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hutch's name, Bears fans are probably in the chat like, oh, we should trade Hutch. We should trade for Hutch. The Lions will go give him up. No, they're not. But, the only reason we believe that the Jags would, partially because we believe that the Jags are stupid, the other part is because he hasn't been Hutch. His production hasn't rivaled Hutch's production. No one looks at him like, oh, he's going to be on the same trajectory as Hutch because he hasn't shown anything. So trading for him right now would not behoove the Jaguars because you might as well keep him and see if he continues to develop, because you're not getting back the haul that you're not getting back for him or nearly for him what you gave up to get him. So all right, we did say that we're going to look at defensive tackles today. We said that, right? Defensive tackles who are free agents. Where was that page that I was looking at that on? Let me see. All right, don't see it there. All right. So let me just Google it. So we got we were using PFF last time. Okay. Zach Bond is a free agent. That's crazy. Okay. So top 2025 at every position. Okay, let's go to defensive tackle. Where the heck? Here we go. Interior defender. All right. Let's see who we got. We'll do this much like we did the last one. If we get a DT, can we get rid of Project Martin? Project Martin was dealing with injury all season. Leave him alone. All right. All right. We'll go through. Let me put the chat up on the other screen here so that I can do both things at once. All right. Number one on the list is Osa Odigizua. Yes, I can say his name properly because I am mostly Nigerian. I went over my 23andMe with y'all. Don't act like you don't remember. Yes, so Osa Odigizua of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the number one defensive interior defender. On the list of free agents, he's number 30. So it says Odigizua is another interior pass rusher with very strong underlying metrics that haven't quite translated to major sack production through nearly 4 seasons. While the Dallas Cowboys season fell off the rails as injuries piled up, Odigizua stayed the course and played some of the best ball of his career over the second half of the campaign. The 2021 third-round pick is quietly one of the more underrated defenders across the NFL. All right, so we will look at his grades. His top free agent comparison was Nnamdi Madubuike, who also is Nigerian, and I'm nailing the names because I'm partly Nigerian. All right. So run defense grade 57.3 for Nnamdi. It was 66.6. Pass rush grade 82.3 for Nnamdi. It was 75.2. True pass rush pass rush grade 87.8 for Nnamdi was 82.8. Pass rush win rate 14.6. Nnamdi 11.7. Now, the question is, yes, to Ziggy, we can cut Martin to help pay for him. I don't think Martin's making that much. Now remember, under contract, when we look at these defensive tackles, under contract are DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. Are you paying for the number one defensive tackle on the list? J-Rod, we're looking at FA. We're gonna do draft a little bit later, right? Once I've had a chance to look at these prospects, and that's why I say I've got a list of prospects that somebody gave me, so I have to start looking at them. I feel like I should do it after the Super Bowl, but if y'all want to do some, look at a few prospects, give me until Friday. Friday's shows, we'll look at some prospects. If that's what y'all want, that's what I'll do. All right. Whatever Brad does, I'm good. If it's feasible, Brad will get it done. Garrett has experience that would take Hutch to yet another level. For sure. I'm guessing you're talking about the Garrett and Walker. Don't even matter. Every little bit counts. No, I'm listening to you guys. This is the part of the show where I'm interacting with everybody. I've given my takes on what I think. Myles Garrett, you do it, and you don't take away from your strengths. So your best players, your all pro players like Kirby Joseph, you keep them on the roster. You don't trade them. And the Browns don't really. It's definitely a no for Kirby, right? Definitely a no for Kirby because the Browns wouldn't be able to afford another contract. Hutch will probably teach the old dog Garrett some new tricks. I mean, they could vibe and feed off each other. Yahya Black from Iowa. Um, Send it to me in the Discord. You should be in the Discord, right? Said I'm watching this year's first half of the Super Bowl so I can watch Kendrick Lamar. I'm turning it off after that. What if it's a really good game? What if it's 10-10 at halftime? You're not gonna stick around and see who wins. Quentin Bohanna. All right, let me go through this list. All right. That's crazy. It goes from number 1 to number 32. I think they got that wrong. I think they meant to say number 2 because he's the free agent ranked number 32. So, y'all, I do forget about Discord. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, like if you did something in the Discord, just let me know because I have to get into checking it myself. All right, so I see J Rod says, email me please. Okay, J Rod, I'm definitely gonna hit you. Actually, you know what, J Rod? I'll give you. So J Rod, you can definitely send me. I gave you my email. Send me that. Let me know when you sent it to me, so I'll check it right after the show. But yeah, so like I said, if y'all send me a message and you see I didn't check it in the chat, because I you know what, I'm gonna do it for you right now. I'm gonna do this for you right now. I got this little thing in front of me. Check Discord daily. Okay, see, I write notes to myself, right? So I got that. Boom. That's right here under my microphone. So I'll once I do it for like 5 days, then I'll get into it. I'll be right there. No, it's not because I'm busy. It's just I just forget to check it. Because it's not like WhatsApp or something that I use every day. You know what I mean? Don't care after Kendrick. All right. Yes, we're definitely keeping both Branch and Kirby. Okay. So Milton Williams is a number 2 defensive interior defender, not 32. He's the number 32 overall. He's Philadelphia Eagles. It says Williams is already a candidate for the biggest riser on the list, and his stock only improved down the home stretch. His 6 sacks in the regular season are career best total. A rotational interior defender with serious pass rush juice is often the profile of a player who does very well in free agency, and Williams has limited tread on his tires, given he's never eclipsed 50% of defensive snaps played in a season, despite playing at least 36% in every year since his debut. Leave it to the Eagles to get a new deal done, but if not, don't be surprised when Williams makes a major splash in March. So if the Eagles don't get a deal done, that's someone I would like to bring in on that type of deal. If we're breaking the bank for him, I don't want to do that because he's not a full-time player. And if you're paying him as a full-time player, you're expecting full-time production. And he may be able to do it, but I'm generally wary of guys who have their breakout years in the contract year. You know what I mean? Because we've seen it too many times where you have a breakout year and then once you get that big contract, then it's nothing else. Tactical Spark, I did not share the stream. Man, that's why I rock with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Because they tried to bury me, dog. All right, I just shared it there. Bro, why is everybody so afraid? Does anybody know what Natalie Sparebeck does? I just want to know. I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything. I just don't know what she does. And I would like to know if anybody knows. But I just saw a tweet up there talking about, oh, you want to inquire about trading for and paying Myles Garrett? We'll say goodbye to one of these. He's got a picture of Hutch, Kirby, and J-Mo. Why the F would you say goodbye to Hutch? Are we okay? Why was Hutch even on the list of those things? My goon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Said what we built, I have to say picks only for Garrett. That's all they can take. They can't take on contracts. All right. She's a I don't know what she does either, tactical sport. I've tried to get her on the podcast. She'll reply to other things and she'll like quote tweet other things or like things, but when you ask her to come on the podcast, then she goes silent. So, all right. So Milton Williams, what do y'all think about Milton Williams? Garrett will probably negotiate a new team-friendly deal. I mean, again, his next two cap hits are 19 and 20 million respectively, and he doesn't have any more guaranteed money. So, yeah, probably, especially if you're going to a place where you want to win. If you're saying that that's the most important thing, he's not asking out of Cleveland because they can't give him a contract. He's asking out of Cleveland so that he can go win somewhere. If he just wanted a new contract, then he'd be like, I don't care. Just get me out of here. Trade me anywhere. Brad. Milton Williams is, at this point, I feel like I might be an upgrade over Broderick Martin. And I'm not a lineman. According to you, Tactical, you probably would think that I was an upgrade over Broderick Martin. All right. So let's look at his run defense grade. Again, he's a pass rusher, so his run defense grade is not great. It's a 54.5. His pass rush grade is 81.2, and his pass rush win rate is a 12.7. So it's all pretty good, I would say. But again, that's what I'm just saying. If he's a rotational player and he's looking for starter money, I don't know about that. Number 3 on the list. All right, you guys are going to love this one. This guy is the number 3 interior defender. His run defense grade is a 65. His pass rush grade is a 67.8. His true pass rush set is a 72.8. His pass rush win rate is a 12.2. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I just want to know. Great run defense grade 65. Pass rush grade 67.8. True pass rush set. Pass rush grade 72.8. Pass rush win rate 12.2. Are you paying that guy? Oh my God! Please don't say Will Harris and Lions in the same sentence again. I appreciate that, Tactical. Please don't put those in the sentence. What is the closest team to Northeast Ohio that is not the Browns or Bengals? I don't know. Us? He said, I I'll stand on that soapbox until Broderick is gone. Yeah, that's why I said us. Oh, Mr. Bean died. I did not know that. That's where Miles will go. Well, his run defense is better than at 0.0 in his pass rush. I can see a theme here. As long as we're doing interior defenders, everybody is going to be compared to Broderick Martin. I got it. Robert Stevens says, is this a trick question? It may be. It may be a trick question. I just want to know if y'all are paying that man. He's a penetrating three technique interior pass rush that every team covets with his 12.5% pass rush win rate in 2024, ranking as a top 15 mark at the position. You'll pay him tactical sport? Should I reveal who he is? Could do a whole show on Martin. Well, apparently, Robert Stevens, if we did a whole show on Martin, there wouldn't be much content. Boom. All right, are y'all ready for me to peel back the curtain on who we're talking about? All right, we're going to peel back the curtain with a run defense grade of 65.0, a pass rush grade of 67.8, a true pass rush grade of 72.8, and a 12.5% pass rush win rate is none other. The number 3 interior defensive lineman is none other than Detroit's own Levi Onwuzurike. Levi Onwuzurike. Are you paying him like the number 3 interior defensive pass rusher or interior defensive lineman in free agency this year? Because I have questions. I have questions. Keep Levi, but half a season ain't getting that kind of money. All right. Are y'all ready for this? He has a pass rush win rate of 12.5, which is actually really good. Do you know how many sacks he had this season? Don't look it up. Because I already did, and I'll know if you did. Don't look it up. Do you know how many sacks he had this season? I just want to know if you know. 1.5. Three or four is very false. It was 1.5. I love Levi. I love that he was able to come back from the back injury and kind of resurrect his career. But if he's being built as an interior defensive pass rusher, that is not a thing. It's not a thing. And he's also, The run grade is a 65, which is good. But he's got to do something at an elite level to be number 3, right? Rush the passer or stop the run. And I'm just talking about the money. I'm not talking about the person. I'm not talking about the player negatively. I'm just talking about the money. Are we paying that money? How many quarterback hits did he have? All right, let's look at how many quarterback hits. Let's see. Quarterback hits. Let's see. They don't have quarterback hits. All right, let's see. Levi. QB hits. Because Lions Wire, okay, so that was in week 1. I don't know. Where are the QB hits? Oh, here we go. This is a betting thing, so I think that's I think that's a bet. That's not actual stats. Well, we can't we can't trot Broderick Martin out there until McNeil comes back. What are you gonna do, Tactical, if Broderick Martin has a breakout season this year? I'm trying to find his pressures and all that stuff. I'm on Pro Football Reference, so I see his. I mean, in his career, he has 3.5 sacks, but again, he won't. He didn't play a lot his first couple of years. Let's see. Dang, I don't even really see a lot. Bro. Okay, and here's the other thing. And looking at his stats in the game breakdown, he had 3 half sacks. That 1.5 was not like 1 sack solo and 1 half. No, he had 3 half sacks. He never got a full solo sack this season. All right, let's see. All right, QB hits. Let's see. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14. You have 14 QB hits. Let's see. Pressures. For whatever reason, they don't have pressures. Yeah, they don't have pressures. So, if anybody can find his pressures, 14. He had 14 total pressures. His tackles, yes, he had 14 tackles and 1 TFL. J. Rod said, "Oh, that's cool. They count after the game. High fives." uh, I J. Rod. They asked me. They said, "How many QB hits did he have?" I'm just saying. You know. But I don't know. I don't see his pressures. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. Levi Onwuzurike QB pressures. Let me see if PFF has it. Robert Stevens asked me about his QB hits after I told them how many. After I told you guys how many sacks he had. He had 45 pressures on 635 snaps. So it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad, right? Wow. They just snuck in an ad that I did not want to see at all. And I said snuck in because when I went to go do a double tape and I rolled back and I scrolled back up, like right after I saw it, it was gone. So they knew what they were doing. They knew that wasn't the type of material I like to see. So he had 21 solo tackles. See, no. PFF is inaccurate because they said he had 3 sacks in 2024 and everyone else says he had half sacks. So they gave him, instead of giving him halves, they just gave him three full sacks. Robert Stevens says not worth the money. We can re-sign him, not getting big money. He's a placeholder. Okay, that's why I asked. All right, we'll do 2 more. We'll do 2 more. All right, B.J. Hill, Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, Lions website 1.5 sacks. ESPN 1.5 sacks. Pro Football Reference 1.5 sacks. PFF 3. I guess PFF doesn't count half sacks. They're just like, no, he got the whole thing. So B.J. Hill, Cincinnati. Hill signed a 3-year contract with the Bengals in 2022 after an extremely sharp trade swap with the Giants for center Billy Price, and he was a veteran presence on a very young, developing interior defensive line in 2024. Hill is still a solid all-around player, but despite Cincinnati's need at the position, massive contracts looming for Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, and perhaps T. Higgins could make it tough to retain Hill. Hill is he's more of a run defender than Levi. Potato sack. Different guy watching the game, PFF, yes. J-Rod is not a fan of Levi Onwuzurike. He said, I just found it. He was in a few sack races. Potato sack. His run defense grade is a 67.6, pass rush grade 66.1, true pass rush grade 69.2. They had to go all the way back to his top free agent comparison was Randy Starks in 2014. They had to go all the way back there. Goodness gracious. Pass rush win rate is at 8.3%. Team friendly 2 years for BJ Hill or Levi Onwuzurike. Aleem is comparable to BJ Hill. Now, I like remember when we're looking at these people, um, we're not looking. We're looking as like a replacement for Aleem McNeil in the short term. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking like we got DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil. I don't think we're looking to break the bank. So that's where I think you would have more depth signings on the interior than top 5, top 10. And top 5, I'm just going to say it's Calais Campbell. Number 5 on the list in the top 5 is Calais Campbell. J-Rod, did you email me? I'm checking. Okay, Precision Standing sent me a bunch of people. Bro, Precision Standing sent me a list of 40 prospects. uh, why am I on handwriting mode? What the frick? That's crazy. Why the hell? That's wild. Yeah, Precision Standing just sent me a bunch of a bunch of people. So I think I got all the prospects necessary. But hey, that's like 40 shows worth of material. um, keep Levi cheap though. Kinlaw. Oh, you mean Javon Kinlaw? Isn't he a linebacker? Um, if you want, if you want a pass rush, dang, I mean Levi has this. Levi, it's a top 10 list. I feel like Levi has the best pass rush win rate on the list. Calais Campbell is 11.3%. Tierra Tart is 11.4%. Levi was 12 point. They said 12.2 here, but in the article they said 12.5. So it would be Milton Williams would have the highest one, which is 12.7. I'm sorry, Odigizua, he's 14.6. So he is actually number 3 in pass rush run rate. It'll be hard for Brad to give up 3 picks to Cleveland, 2, and a rookie contract sounds close. F them picks. If they want 3 picks, they can have them. Because here's the thing. If you have Myles Garrett for 2 years, you got to win a Super Bowl in those 2 years. Myles Garrett and Hutch is crazy. Right? And then Kirby's extension kicks in. Then Hutch's extension kicks in. Then J-Mo's extension kicks in. And so on and so forth. So I really feel like Brian Branch as well in 2 years. Like he's going to have an extension probably. This is Brian Branch's second season. He was a second-round pick. So he's got a 4-year contract, right? So that's why I said F them picks, because you're gonna have a lot of big contracts. So you go all in for Myles Garrett, man. If they want 2 firsts and a third, hell, 2 firsts and a second. If I'm gonna give him two firsts, that means that my second or my third is gonna be next year's draft. I'm gonna keep my second, or maybe my third is next year's comp pick. You know what I'm saying? From AG. So I don't pick in the first round of this draft. I basically got Myles Garrett for my first round pick. Then I have a second pick and a third pick and a fourth and so on. So it's like the same. The draft would be the same this year, but we simply, it would be the both years. If we gave up 2 firsts and the third is the comp pick, we got second, third, fourth, etc. this year, then it would be the same as next year. So we gave up a first rounder this year. It's like we picked this year in the first round. We picked Myles Garrett. The second year, we don't have a first round pick, but the rest of our draft stays the same. All right. I know it's Brad Holmes we're talking about, but it's still, the draft still goes the same way. You just don't have a first round pick this next year. Exactly. F them picks. Hold on. Did I give you the right email? I'm pretty sure I gave you the right email. Yeah, it didn't come through, J. Rod. Unless it went to my spam for some reason, which would be crazy. I don't know why it would. Yeah, nah, it didn't come through, J. Rod. Uh, J. Cruz. He said my side piece said she was leaving me. I told her it's all good. Nothing was real from the start. You you a wild boy, J. Cruz, and you a wild boy. But J. Rod, yeah, send me that through. Again, because it did not go through. Or you also could just send me a DM on whatchamacallit. Send me a DM on Discord. Hear it all the time. Building for long-term success from Sheila Down. I don't think we're interrupting the building process by trading away your first round pick for next year. That's all you're trading. Next year will be the only year that you do not get a first round pick. This year, your first round pick is Myles Garrett. I get it. I get that he likes the picks, but you're losing one. You're trading. He's done this before. He traded up to get JMO. Like, he traded back in the first round. He'll trade a first round pick now. I'm just saying. You're succeeding, Jay Cruz. I'm just like F them picks. Really. Two first and a second, two first and a third. Whatever you need. Two first, a second, and the third, I'm down. I'm down. And then it'll just be next year. Next year's draft just ain't gonna be that great, you know? You know? Two first, a second, and the third. The second would be from next year. The third would be next year's comp pick because we don't have a third this year except for the comp pick. So that's what I would do. I would say this year we've picked Myles Garrett, second rounder, third rounder, fourth rounder, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever. And then next year, we just don't have a first and a second. Or we don't have a first. Yeah, we don't have a first and a second. And then the third is just the extra one. So I got, you know. Bro, your email's still not coming through. Just send it to me. Like I said, just send me a DM. Unless it went to updates. Nope, didn't go to updates. Did it go to important? Did not go to important. Mm-mm. Nah, for whatever reason, it's not coming through. There's nobody in this year's or next year's draft that will be able to draft that's better than Myles. Forget them picks. I don't know that there's gonna be anyone better than Myles in a lot of drafts. He said he hasn't traded three before. I'm down. F them picks. I just don't view it. I don't view it as trading three draft picks. I view it as trading two because I feel like you drafted Myles Garrett pick and you got Myles Garrett for pick number 28. Anybody would jump at that chance. This year's 1 and 2 and a 2 next year. Mm, I mean, I would still do it. I would just like to stack the picks over the years. But I mean, hey, if you want this year's 1 and 2, okay. we drafted. We got Myles Garrett in the first round, and then we didn't have a second round pick. I'm not gonna cry about it. Not at all. Yeah, that'll be the day if Brad dumps real estate on Garrett, which makes real sense. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Um, why is my why did my keyboard switch to freaking? That's crazy. It switched to whatchamacallit, handwriting. I mean, I got it back, but it just didn't make a lot of sense. Uh, Let me see. Um, all right, J Rod, I just sent you a DM, so now just send it to me from there. Time off of fifth year options would be good for the cap. Yes, it would be. um, yeah, 100%. No, it It changed to handwriting. I don't know why. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It is getting hot. It is currently it says 87. It's supposed to get to 97. Not looking forward to that. I think it's hotter than 87. I think yeah, okay. Now it's 97. So, yeah. It was stuck in the past for a little bit. But appreciate y'all, man, once again, as always, for coming through. You know, the Motor City Cats are back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, and I can't really tell you what to do. Rip Rice Cap, by the way. Or is it Nice Cap? Nice Cap. I appreciate you. Whatever you do, keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we are out of here.